American populism dates back to the end of the 19th century when William Jennings Bryan and others railed against the power and wealth of the upper class. But the populist wave that brought President Trump into power is a far different thing than its historical predecessor. So what does the future hold for populism in America? Joining me now, former Maryland Governor Bob Ehrlich. Thank you, Bob, for being with us. You've written about this, and it's something you've studied closely.
By the way.
Thank you so much. Well, we love the fact that you could join us tonight, because this topic is really at the heart of what the show's all about, which is this idea of positive populism. What do you think? What would you pick out as being the most important elements of President Trump's populist agenda?
Yeah, it's Trump-style populism. It's Ronald Reagan and traditional Republican values, Republican economic positions, clearly. You see that playing out with a growth-oriented tax bill now. But with a particular Trump stamp here, you know, this appeal, this unique sort of Trump populism has really closed the deal with the working class voters. So a lot of these voters have been being picked off by Republican presidential candidates for years, beginning in the 70s, but he completed the deal. You know, he talked to the lack of growth. He talked to the misery index between the coasts and flyover America. That's why he was able to close the deal. And by the way, Steve, that's why even today, with obviously some diminution in the polls, he remains very strong with his very base group. And as long as he maintains that strength with that base group, he is going to be a very difficult customer come 3 years.
So how do you think he's doing so far in delivering the agenda he talked about?
It's interesting. With regard to policy and the progress concerning deregulation, obviously, in the stock market, and now 2/4 of 3% growth, sort of the bottom line to this populism was that, look, 1.5%, 1% growth, Obama-style growth, limited horizon growth is not going to get your 26-year-old out of the basement. I'm going to get your 26-year-old out of the basement. We're going to account for real wage growth. We're going to see real new factories built in the Rust Belt. And you know, to that extent, he's been pretty successful, as you see from the macroeconomic numbers.
And so one area I know you've focused on a lot is immigration. Let's just focus on that for a bit now. That's where he really diverged from the traditional Republican interests of big business. How do you see that going?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. They haven't been able to pass a bill yet, but he has a pretty good rhetorical point, depending on the number you read in media reports, whether it's 75%, 85%, 90%. You've seen a tremendous diminution in illegal border crossings. And to the extent that actually is a fact, he can point to it as a great success. But it's also a split with traditional Republicanism. You know, Wall Street's been pretty laissez-faire concerning cheap labor. But this particular Trump group, this base group, sovereignty means something. They want the laws enforced. They want the border to mean something. So this sort of nationalistic, enforce the law, enforce the borders, we're going to return to a sense of sovereignty in this country, again, plays very well in flyover America.
And so what more would you like to see done on that particular issue of immigration?
You just pass a bill. Yeah, again, the DACA kids and all that. You know, he's sort of their negotiating ploy right now, as you know, with regard to the wall. The bottom line thing to a lot of people, he obviously places a great deal of emphasis on the wall, and a lot of his base does, but I don't. I place emphasis on enforcing the law. Illegal immigration is illegal. Let's stop it. Obviously, to the extent his rhetoric supports his case, that's been very helpful given these numbers. But I really believe that everybody deserves a comprehensive, real immigration bill. And that's it, Steve. Just pass the law, respect sovereignty, and then we can have our debate concerning legal immigration, by the way, skilled versus unskilled.
So do you think that if tougher action, I mean, there's evidence already that border crossings are down, just, you know, a lot of people ascribe that just literally to the rhetoric as well as tougher enforcement at the border. But do you think that there needs to be action on people already here, as well as stopping the flow of immigrants coming in?
if there's a deal, obviously, if there's a deal, Ronald Reagan kind of deal with regard to immigration. And by the way, you raise a good point concerning the most recent statistics. The Border Patrol, the people who enforce the law, they know they have a president now who has their back. Mm-hmm. The last president joked about a moat, if you recall, at the border. These folks now who protect us and are supposed to enforce the law, they have a president who means what he says, who goes down there and visits and talks to them and has their back. That makes a great deal of difference when you wake up every day and you go out there to face real danger.
That's so true. Governor Ehrlich, really, really good to see you tonight. Really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure, Steve. Take care. Godspeed.
Thank you.